Three extraordinary Big Muff pedals, but which one do you need and which one is best? Here in front of me I'm holding the JPTR FX Warlow, the Rude Tech Effects 3MuF-14 and the Electro-Harmonix Big Muff 2 Tone Wicker model. And what I want to do in this video is test out these three extraordinary Big Muffs, and we'll also test them out against a very ordinary Big Muff, the standard Electro-Harmonix Big Muff Nano, and we'll see whether or not you need these extra modes, these extra switches, the extra versatility that these boutique Big Muff models bring you. Now, timestamps to everything is going to be down in the description and comments if you'd like to skip to the musical part of the video first, but let me tell you everything you need to know about these pedals before we start making some sounds. We'll start with the JPTR FX Warlow. This is a brutal take on your op-amp Big Muff style of circuit. Chris JPTR is a huge fan of that style of music. If you've ever heard his own music, he is a great musician in his own right, and he loves huge, sludgy, doomy tones, and you can get those in abundance with the Warlow. On first glance, it looks like a pretty standard sort of a Big Muff big box pedal, but there's extra stuff going on to differentiate this from your standard Big Muff topology. Now, like I said, first off, this is an op-amp Big Muff. There's loads of headroom on this one as well, so I'm going to have the volume way down compared to the other pedals just to get them level in that sort of a sense, but rest assured, this one will go very, very loud and it will push your amp very, very hard if you'd like to do that. So we've got a volume, filter and distortion controls across the top here, and we've got two mini switches as well. Now, the first mini switch lets us change the filtering in the tone stack. Now, if it's down, like it is here, it's going to be a Big Muff tone stack, and if it's up, you'll get rat tonal filters. And if you love your Proco rats like I do, well, you know that that's going to give you a totally different tonal response from the pedal, and you will hear that in the musical part of the video. Just be aware that when you're using the filter or tone control on a rat, the more you turn that up, the more you're filtering out unwanted high frequencies. So it's kind of like a tone control backwards, and because of that, I'm going to be really switching this filtering control around quite a lot just to balance things out. So just be aware of that when you're listening to the musical part. The second mini switch is going to give you access to a gated fuzz sort of a sound. It's like a voltage starved sort of effect, so you're going to get a ripping, velcro-y, spluttery sort of fuzz tones, beloved of players like Jack White. I think that that's a brilliant sounding setting, and you're going to be hearing that a lot in the musical part of the video. Now, price-wise, the Warlow is probably going to set you back around $150, 150 euros. For a made in Germany pedal, I think that is excellent value for money. So that's the JPTR FX Warlow. That's the first of our extraordinary Big Muffs. And the second in today's comparison is going to be the Nashville, USA made Rude Tech 3MuF-14. Now, this was what I ended up with a couple of years ago after I went on a very long search for the most flexible boutique Big Muff that I could find. And I went for this one because I think it just looks fantastic and it offers you so much in terms of tonal goodness. Now, straight away you can see that this is a very different looking thing, still quite a large unit, similar sort of size to a Big Muff 2, and, well, you've got the three normal controls that you would expect from a Big Muff: sustain, tone and volume, they're called in this case, but we've got two extra switches and two foot switches going on here as well. Now, the first switch here lets you have access to three different Big Muff circuits. You can choose between a black, a green, which is going to be a Green Russian, or a Civil War Big Muff. So that's already three muffs in one pedal. Then we've got another switch which is going to give you a tone bypass like you get on op-amp Big Muffs, for example. That lets you take the tone stack out of the circuit. It's going to give you a mid bump, it's going to give you a big tonal shift and loads of extra versatility, a much meaner sort of a sound. And the second foot switch here lets you access a built-in mids overdrive. That's great because it lets you add in as many of the mids that you might lose through the traditional scooped Big Muff sound, and you can really tweak this mids overdrive and the muff settings with loads of internal control options. You can switch out capacitors and bits of the circuits and so on, and really do whatever you would like with this pedal. I'll put a link to Rude Tech down in the description along with everything else featured in this video, so you can check out all of the other options that you have with this pedal. But it is a wonderful boutique take on the Big Muff. It'll set you back about $250, 250 euros or something like that, but split it up into three different independent Big Muff circuits, plus the tonal bypass, plus that mids overdrive setting as well, and well, straight away it starts to look like better value for money. So that's the Rude Tech Effects 3MuF-14, and the third extraordinary Big Muff that we're looking today, it's from Electro-Harmonix, and it is the brand new Big Muff 2 Tone Wicker model. And some of you might be looking at this pedal and saying, well, that's not that extraordinary, is it? And I would say, well, actually, yes, it is. First off, we've got this kind of lost and refound Big Muff 2 circuit with the dual op-amp circuitry in it, and we've got the Tone Wicker switches that give this pedal so much extra versatility. You've got your standard volume, tone and sustain knobs on this one, but the two mini switches are what makes this pedal really rather interesting, and in my opinion, way more worth it than the standard Big Muff 2 Nano pedal would be, even though you're going to be paying $20 more for the joy of this one. Now the tone switch will switch the tone stack out of the circuit with the same benefits that you would get from the other Big Muffs where you've got a tone bypass switch, and the Wicker switch is another great thing to have. That's going to give us extra high end, it's going to give us a crisper sound with more clarity, and it's going to be a great way to get your Big Muff unlost in a band setting, because that's always a risk with Big Muffs. Now you can have that either off, half or full, and when you've got that off and you've got the tone stack on with this pedal, it's exactly the same circuit as the standard Big Muff 2 Nano. So that's the Electro-Harmonix 2 Tone Wicker pedal, 3 extraordinary Big Muffs then. But what do they offer that a standard Big Muff doesn't? Well, because of that, we're also going to feature the traditional Electro-Harmonix Big Muff Nano. I really wanted to have this in the comparison with the others because this is the bog standard Big Muff in 2026. We'll hear how different and how similar it sounds to the other circuits, and we'll hear if it can keep up with the others in terms of tones, in terms of quality, and in terms of versatility as well. You've just got your standard 3 knobs on this one after all. Can we get all of the Big Muff sounds that we can get with the extraordinary muffs with the absolute standard? Well, it's time to find out. My rig for today is going to be my Hughes & Kettner Ampman Classic amplifier. For the first half of the music, we'll be on a very neutral clean setting with the amp, and for the second half, we'll switch to the dirty channel of the amp because Big Muffs have a very different tonal response when going into a clean amp compared to when they're going into a dirty amplifier. My guitar for today is going to be the Shergold Provocateur. We'll be using the bridge humbucker on that guitar, and we'll be playing a loop through my Boss RC10 looper into the front of the 4 Big Muff pedals, which are going to be running into the front end of the amp. That's it. No post-production is going to be done on the sounds whatsoever, so everything I hear is going to be exactly what you're hearing too. So enjoy the loop, enjoy the 4 different Big Muffs. Let me know in the comments which one you think sounds best, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions afterwards. Okay then, so that was 3 extraordinary Big Muffs and 1 very ordinary Big Muff, and I hope you enjoyed the riffs, the tones and the tonal tweaking. And you know what you need to do now? Let me know which of the 4 pedals you thought sounded best. Do you love the raw op-amp distortion sounds of the Jupiter effects or the new Big Muff 2? Are you a huge fan of the added versatility of the Root-Tech 3MuF-14, or could you simply get by with the old classic, the standard Electro-Harmonix Big Muff Nano? As always, love to hear your thoughts. Let's get a bit of a discussion going in the comments. But now it's time for me to tell you my thoughts and opinions, because I know you guys always like to hear what I think as well. And first off, well, I decided to make this video once I'd bought the Jupiter FX Warlow. Now, I've had the pleasure of being able to play the Warlow and all of the other Jupiter effects pedals over the years, and getting to know Chris Jupiter as well. Wonderful person he is too. And well, I ordered the Warlow earlier this year. It finally arrived during the massive European heatwave that we've just had, and it is an absolute explosion of tone in every way. It's a wonderful pedal. It reacts fantastically to all my amps. All my guitars love it as well. It's the meanest, most brutal sounding Big Muff that you can probably get for your money. It's a wonderful sounding pedal. I love the meanness of the op-amp sounds. I love the fact that I can switch between the Big Muff and the Rat filters in terms of the tones. I'm a huge Proco Rat fan, and I actually think I might prefer the Rat filter to the standard Big Muff filter in this one, but it's a great thing, and I love the fact that we've got so much headroom with this pedal. Couldn't really put it to much use in this video because the other pedals couldn't keep up, but believe you me, there is so much headroom in this pedal. You can smash the front of any amp with this one, and it responds fantastically to a clean amp in my opinion, and also to a dirty amp too. And I know that Chris Jupiter, just in case you're watching this, he loves to run his Big Muffs into a dirty amp, but for me personally, I actually prefer the way this one sounds into a clean amp. There you go, my thoughts, my opinions, your mileage may vary, but this is an absolutely wonderful sounding Big Muff, and if you're after an op-amp Big Muff sort of a sound, well, you've got a great option in terms of the Electro-Harmonix op-amp Big Muff. That is a wonderful pedal, and I will have to shoot those two out at some point, but this is supreme in those stakes. And you've got the extra gated setting on this one too, which really is absolutely fantastic for playing lead stuff. Didn't get to do much lead stuff in the loop that we did today, but if you're playing single notes, that gated sound that just cuts off straight away, it's so velcro-y and spluttery sounding. It's a great sounding pedal, and it adds an extra string to the bow of the Warlow. So highly recommend checking this one out if you ever get the chance. Just be aware that over the years there have been different versions of the Warlow made. So some of them might not have the same filtering controls, some of them might not have the same gate controls, so just make sure that you're getting the one with the features and the controls that you want. But hugely high marks for this pedal for me. I absolutely love it. Then we come to the Rudetech 3MuF-14, and I still absolutely love this pedal. It's the most versatile Big Muff pedal that I own. I don't own a JHS Muffaletta yet. That's got 7 or 8 different Big Muff circuits in it. This one has 3, and I think that's more than enough for any player to do what you need to do. Now for me personally, I love the green setting on this one, but I love the Civil War and the black ones as well. But there are so many usable tones in this thing, and the added goodness of that tone bypass switch and the mids overdrive here mean that this is a Big Muff that can do absolutely anything that you'd ever need it to do. It doesn't have the same amounts of headroom as the Warlow. None of the other pedals in this comparison do actually, but it is a great sounding pedal and I absolutely love it. It's a bit more expensive than the other pedals mentioned in this video, but again, in terms of what you're getting for it, well, I absolutely 100% think that this pedal is worth the money. And then we come to the latest and greatest from Electro-Harmonix, the Big Muff 2 Tone Wicker pedal. Now, as soon as the Big Muff 2 was announced in 2025, I almost bought the big box version, but didn't. I still might at some point. But straight away, I bought the Nano version that came out. And I was a tiny little bit disappointed about not being able to dial the darkness out of that pedal, because it is a very dark and grungy sounding beast. There's a lot more mids than a standard Big Muff with that dual op-amp circuit. And well, I was just missing something there. And straight away when the Tone Wicker version came out, well, all of those issues for me were alleviated. With the tone and the wicker switches, you can really access way more clarity. You can cut out some flubby, unwanted low end if you don't want it, and you'll really find your place in a band mix, no problem with this pedal. It's a different sounding thing to your standard Big Muff, your Big Muff 1, and it lets a lot more clean signal through than the original Big Muffs did as well. And that might be something that you like, it might be something that you don't like. It's definitely a taste thing, and I would highly recommend that you check out the Big Muff 2 if you get the chance to see if it's going to be something for you. But in terms of extraordinary Big Muffs, well, this one definitely is one of those. For about $120 or 120 euros, the Big Muff 2 Tone Wicker is going to be significantly cheaper than something like the Rudetech, but not too dissimilar to something like the JPTR FX Warlow in terms of price. So you might want to think really hard before deciding which one to go for. And at the end of the day, instead of going for one of these extraordinary muffs, do you actually not just want to go for the standard, the classic, the Electro-Harmonix Big Muff Nano? I was amazed at how well this pedal kept up with the others. You've only got the 3 controls on this one, but with a bit of judicious tweaking, well, it actually gets very close to many of the tones that the other pedals offer. Now, in terms of the op-amp sounds that you get from the Warlow and from the Big Muff 2, well, you're not going to get close with this one, but if you want those, you can buy the Nano version of the op-amp Big Muff and just have those instead. But overall, for less than $100 and way less if you want to buy a used one, this is still an absolutely wonderful option. And I might have been calling the Big Muff Nano ordinary in today's video, but at the end of the day, in terms of guitar tone and in terms of rock and roll, it's anything but ordinary. The Big Muff is an icon of the guitar world and of rock and roll history as well. So many genre-defining guitarists have put Big Muffs to amazing use. Jimi Hendrix, David Gilmour, Smashing Pumpkins and Billy Corgan, and nowadays players like Jack White as well. They've all used the Big Muff to such great and different effects to really make incredible records, and I truly believe that every guitar player needs at least one Big Muff in their collection. But what about you? Which Big Muff is going to be in your collection? A standard Big Muff, or are you going to go for one of the more multifaceted, more boutique, more tonally rich options? And if I personally could only keep one of these pedals, well, that's a very difficult question to answer. Now, if I was to go with my brain, my smarts, my logic, and go purely in terms of versatility and how many different tones I would be able to get, I would pick the Rudetech 3MuF-14 because that has so many great and different sounding options. But over the past few weeks, the past couple of months, well, in terms of the music I've been playing, if I was to go with my gut and my heart, well, I would pick the all-out op-amp brutality of the JPTR FX Warlow. That is such a fantastic sounding pedal. It's so evil, it's so huge sounding, and I love the extra filter controls and that gated fuzz setting that you've got as well. It's an absolutely wonderful pedal too. At the end of the day though, there's nothing wrong at all with the Big Muff 2 Tone Wicker, and there's absolutely nothing wrong at all with the Electro-Harmonix Big Muff Nano. So they'll all 100% do a job for you. But again, let me know which one you think is best down there in the comments. And if you have any questions about these Big Muffs or any of the other Big Muffs or Fuzzes out there, well, let me know and I shall do my best to answer you. And if you'd like to see me shoot any of these 4 pedals out against the myriad of other fuzz and distortion boxes that I've got here, well, let me know and we'll see if we can make that happen. But that's been it for today's video. Please give me a like and a sub if you haven't already. But I've been Rich and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.